Okay, seems that we are live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello. Also, side note before we begin, is anyone else using the full text search or the full text archive? I'm looking at Carolina is having some issues. So Carolina, I'm working on that right now, FYI. I'm looking into it. But yeah, again, everyone feel free to ask questions in the chat the whole time. You can also ask them to me privately on Discord, but maybe like in the channel would be better.
Yeah, so that everyone can see.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we can even do like video support or something like this. So by all means, like as soon as you have an issue, or if you want us to slow down, 100% let us know, speed up, whatever.
Yeah, we will be looking at the comments all the time. So if there is anything urgent, something's not working, please write. Yeah, and if it's too slow or too fast, also let us know. Okay. What's the time?
I think we can start.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hello everyone. One more time. Welcome to the workshop. This is going to be a very basic workshop. It will show you a very simple way to work with the Twitter API. It's very beginner level, so don't worry. If it's too easy for you, we'll share the code after. So the first thing that you should have is a Twitter developers account. And I really hope that most of you do. If you don't, go ahead and create one or write your Twitter handle in the comments and Emily or Joanna will add you to the team. We have two Joannas. I know it's confusing, but it's a really nice name. So can the people who don't have a Twitter developers account please write in the chat? I don't see anything now.
I think that means everyone has one.
Okay, good. We love that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. As Emily already said, since this is a virtual workshop, it's really hard for us to know how everyone's doing. So please do interact with us and let us know in the comments if something is too fast, too slow, or if something is not working. The other things that you need is Git installed on your machine, Node.js, and preferably a Unix or Mac OS operating system. I'm using Mac OS. So yeah, in order to make sure everything works, this is ideal, but Windows is also fine if you're used to that and you have a working development setup. So once we have that covered, let's go ahead and clone the repository. You can find the link in the comments in the beginning. Oh, Emily, Irina doesn't have a Twitter. Irina, can you write your Twitter handle? Or you can send it privately to Emily.
I'll message you, Irina, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and clone. I have already cloned that, so I'm not going to do that, but you can do so by doing git clone and the GitHub URL. I'm going to wait until everybody is finished. It shouldn't take you too long. Yes. Okay. So this repository is a very basic web app with Node.js and Express.js web server. If you don't know what any of that is, that's fine. We don't need to understand everything for this tutorial. But Node.js is basically server environment based on JavaScript, and Express.js is just a web framework for Node.js. It can be used on top of Node.js to provide a rich web functionality, and it's easier to work with APIs, which we'll be doing today. You may notice that the index file has a weird file extension, EJS. So here we are using the EJS templating engine in order to display dynamic data on the front end, like this, for example. So what EJS basically does is it enables you to construct HTML code with JavaScript variables that are passed in from the backend of your application, like this. So when I'm saying backend, I mean our server.js, and when I'm saying frontend, I mean our index.js. We only will be working with 2 files and a third one, Twitter config, but this is just to paste our credentials. Okay, now we know what's in this repository. Let's go ahead and install the dependencies of the project. You can do so by copying or typing npm install in your console. I am just in the project folder, and that was really quick for me, even though my internet is great. Not great. Yeah, we don't have any dependencies for this project, so it should be really quick for you. I'm going to quickly check if everything's all right in the comments. Yeah. Okay, so now we have all of the dependencies installed. We can start the server by typing node server.js in the console. And your server, oh my God, sorry. Okay, this is, I had something already when I was trying to test this setup. Okay, so now it should work. Okay, it seems to be working. Let's go to localhost. Okay, so you should be able to see a nice welcome message. Okay. Now that's working. Let's go and get some tweets. The next thing that we should do is install the beautiful Twit library that was throwing an error just before that. That's because I didn't install it. The Twit library allows us to configure our API credentials and to use some predefined API functionality. It's just a library that we use to make API calls to Twitter more easily and in a more readable way. You can install Twit by typing npm install Twit. And okay, well, I don't need the server now. You can totally leave your server running, but I'll just use one tab for now. Okay, we have Twit installed as a dependency. Now we need to require it all in our server.js file by adding it near. Oh. Well, I'm showing you my credential, but that's fine because I can just revoke them.
Oh, UNX, can you
Yeah.
increase the size of your VS Code text?
Can I?
Yeah, just zoom in. You can do like
Is this better? I don't know. Or do we need
maybe a
more?
bit closer. I think. How's that?
How's that?
I think it's better. Yeah.
Wait.
Let us know if it's not better. Okay, he says it's better. Cool.
Okay, cool. Uh, okay, so we have required Twit. Next, we need to allow Twit to connect to the Twitter API by using our credentials. You can see that the Twitter config.js has the following contents. You can go ahead and paste your credentials here. And we have already required server.js, Twitter config in server.js here, as you can see. So that should be already working for you. If you don't have credentials or don't know how to get them, it's okay. Now I'm gonna quickly show you where you can get them from. You need to go to your Twitter developer account, which is developer.twitter.com. Go to apps. You need to create a new app. I already have two, but yeah, I can just show you how to do that. So here in the README, we have some placeholder text that you can just go ahead and copy if you're lazy like me. I'm not gonna create this app, but I can just show you which fields to fill out. So for the website URL, if you have one, just type that in. If you don't, you can just do bigdatahack.email.org. For this application, oh, doesn't need that. We don't need this. We don't need to be able to sign in with Twitter. We don't need any callback URLs, terms of service, privacy policy, organization name. If you're building a real app, you should fill these things out. But for us, it's just a very simple thing that we're not going to use. And that should be all. You can go ahead and click create. Okay. And once you've done that, I will go to my app and show you. This is how it looks like. You can see your keys and tokens here. And you can copy and paste them in your Twitter config.js. The access token and access token secret you generate only once. So make sure that you copy that the first time you see it. Otherwise, you will have to regenerate it because you won't see it again. Okay. I'm just gonna wait some time to make sure everyone has figured out creating app and tokens and stuff. Okay. Now you need to configure a new Twit instance in server.js with your API credentials. So let's just copy and paste that. see here, we're taking the credentials from the Twitter config file. Okay, so where can we put that? So we have the Twit instance already, and before we make it all beautiful and user-friendly, let's test searching for tweets from a hashtag by running the API call and logging some tweets to the console. So we are at step 4. For this example, we'll be searching for tweets with the hashtag stay-at-home. This is the Q parameter, which stands for query. So just go ahead and copy that and paste it just after the Twit instance. Now, when you rerun your server.js and check out the response, be able to see some tweets in the console. Each tweet comes with a lot of information. Some of it is hidden, like here, for example. This is only within the console because there are further objects, but it's still a lot of useful data that's available here. The most obvious pieces of data are retweet count and favorite count. However, logging tweets to the console is not very useful, is it? So we want to make it more user-friendly and digestible. So how can we do that? Well, we are going to do a few things. We're going to add an HTML input field to allow the user to submit hashtags to the backend. We're going to configure our server.js file to handle post requests from the HTML form and use it within the API call. And then we will return the response to our index file, parse this response, and build our beautiful HTML. So let's start with adding an HTML form to the index file. So can just copy that. It's just a form. And go to index.ejs. On line 13, instead of welcome message, you can just paste this and replace it. I'm just going to format it so that I don't annoy you. Yeah, so we have our form. Okay, we have a form, but it's not doing anything. So now we go to step 6. We want to configure our server to handle post requests. So when we submit the form, it knows what to do. To do that, we need some logic to handle the posting of inputs into the input values into the form. First of all, we need to install some middleware called body parser, which will give us this functionality. Body parser has access to the request and response objects, and it gives us the ability to work with whatever data is passed during our post request. So you can go ahead and install body parser. That's done. We should also, so first we should require it in our server. And requiring it is not enough, right? We need to also tell the app to utilize its power. So, okay. So now that we have the form and the parser, we need a proper post handler. Now I want you to add the following JavaScript to your server.js file, which will just handle a simple posting of the hashtag input with the name hashtag. Okay. Post. It's really difficult when it's so small. Okay. Now,
I was just gonna say, side note, I posted in the channel yesterday, I guess, that we could have like 30-day account or like searching tweets for 30 days. And I think I have to set that up as the team developer account leader. So let me know if you want that. That's all.
yeah. Okay, so we have the post handler. Now we need to adjust our index file to print the hashtag variable passed in from the post handler. And I want you to now add the following EJS markup to your index.ejs file, somewhere where you want the hashtag to print out after it's submitted to the server and returned as a variable. Okay, I am gonna do that just after the form, I think. Yeah. So here we are using some Bootstrap, so the container will have nice padding, and I want it to be nicely aligned with everything else. So just after the form, I'm adding my markup. So now let's adjust our GET request so that we are actually getting the Twitter response from the server and using it. So you should, okay. So instead of this, you should have something like this. We don't need the welcome message anymore. So for me, it's on line 16, but I don't know how you've arranged your file. Okay, so now if we've done everything correctly and reboot the server, we should be able to submit a new hashtag and see the value printed to the page. Okay. I stayed home. Yay. Okay, this is working. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is remove the logging of these tweets because it's really annoying. Don't need that now. Yeah, so we have our Twitter API client ready. We are able to post data from an HTML form, and all is left is to build the logic for the API code to include the hashtag and return data to the index file. Once we have that done, we can format the data to look all pretty and nice. Yeah, so let's go back to the README. Okay, so the next pieces of code need to be rewritten completely if you want to build more functionality in the project. This is a very basic example, but feel free to add to it. For now, it's fine because its only purpose is to handle hashtag inputs and query the Twitter API with them. Okay, so now we are at step 7.1, and we want to adjust the post handler to look the same as below. You can just copy it just for the sake of everything being bulletproof. Again, using your the